In this video, I'll be discussing what kind of results you can actually get by using SEO. So you probably thought about using different marketing strategies for your company and you're not sure which marketing strategy would work best for you. Well, you probably picked to go with SEO, or you are still in the research on whether or not you should do SEO for your company. So if you picked SEO, or if you're wondering whether or not you should do SEO for your company and what kind of results you can actually get with SEO, well, in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly all of that. So, as with all things in life, it depends. It depends on a lot of different factors. So, I want to show you exactly what factors it depends on, and I'm going to give you some ballpark estimates of what kind of results I was able to achieve for my clients and what kind of results the people in the industry are also achieving for their clients. So the number one factor that your results will depend on would be your niche. So if you're a remodeler, obviously you will be getting a lot less remodeling inquiries compared to, for example, plumbers, because plumbers are a lot more needed, of course. Or painters, for example, because a lot more people are willing to pay for smaller painting jobs. So, of course, some niches receive a lot higher amount of calls, while other niches receive less calls. Usually, if you're selling high-ticket products and services, you would be getting less calls or less, customers. So, if you're a remodeler, I'm going to post some screenshots of what kind of results I was able to get for my remodeling clients. So, for example, this screenshot, GMB Insights, but usually it would be anywhere from 5 to 15 calls per month. And it, again, depends on some other factors. So other factors are where you're actually located. So if you are located in a bigger city, of course, you will be able to reach a lot more people. But this also comes with a lot more competition, usually. But of course, if you have more people in your city and if you're ranking really well, the chances are, of course, you will be getting a lot more leads, which is pretty obvious. But unfortunately, in most cases, this isn't actually true, because if you are in a bigger city, you have to compete with a lot more companies. And if these companies are doing SEO, of course, then it will be a lot harder to actually beat competition and get more leads. But if you do manage to do that, of course, you'll be getting more customers. But from my experience, and I've been in this industry for half a decade, is that people in smaller cities actually receive a lot more customers, because it's a lot easier to rank a company in a smaller city than it is to rank a company in a really big city, of course, which is pretty obvious. But a lot of people don't actually think about all these details when they decide to do SEO. So just because you live in a smaller city, you might be actually getting a lot better results than some company would from a lot bigger city. This is actually what I recorded in my previous video, and you can go and check it out. I'll link it here, that people in smaller cities actually get pretty good results. But again, just to give you some estimates, I'm going to post a couple of screenshots here of the results some of my previous remodeling customers have achieved, and also here are some results that my landscaping customers have achieved using, of course, local SEO. Also, if you want me to take a look at your website, and if you're not exactly sure, what kind of results you can get, it's probably best if I give you some customized advice. So you can go to logicalmarketer.net. It's this link right here. I'm going to leave it here as always, and fill out the contact form, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you're selling pretty affordable products or services, then even though it will be easier for you to get more leads because there's a lot more demand for those kind of services, like there's a lot more people that want to get their lawn mowed than there are people that want to get their whole home remodeled. So the more specific and the more expensive your product or service is, of course, it will be, you would have a lot less people to sell that product or service to. But even if you're selling some specialized products, it doesn't mean, or services, it doesn't mean that you can't actually find enough people to buy those services, because usually there's less competition for those services. So if you are trying to rank for those services, you can actually do that really easily, because you only have to beat X amount of people instead of 20, 50 or whatever. One really easy way to see if you can actually rank your Google My Business listing and your website, of course, for some specific service that you want to rank for, then go to Google Maps and type in that service near you, and let me know what you see. Another thing that your results would really depend on would be your website. So if your website doesn't look really good, or it isn't really user friendly, it's difficult to use, or it doesn't even have to look ugly. It can look really, really pleasing to the eye, but maybe it's not optimized for conversions. Maybe it just looks good. So that people, when they go to your website, they're like, oh, cool website, but then they go and they try to find some information on your competitor's website because they can't find it on your website. So if your website looks good, it doesn't mean that it will actually produce results. It needs to be optimized for conversions. And this is a really huge factor because a lot of people don't think about this, but if somebody's going to remodel their kitchen or remodel their bathroom, or especially if they're going to complete a whole house remodeling or build a custom home, they're not just going to visit the first website that they see. They're going to go and analyze all those companies in their local area, or maybe even in the outer area, in order to find the right company for that job, because it's a huge investment for them, and they want to find a company that's reputable, that does amazing work, somebody whom they can actually trust. So they're not going to go to only one website that ranks first. So if you're in one of those niches, like for example remodeling niche, you don't actually have to worry about ranking first. You need to worry also about making your website really awesome, because if your website is not great, if it doesn't provide the necessary information, or if your website doesn't contain any info about you, doesn't show any of your previous work, or doesn't build trust, or it's not optimized for conversions, then of course you won't get good results. And the screen just turned off. Anyway, so your website would actually play a key role, and it's really important to understand this. If you're a landscaper, if you are a lawn care specialist, for example, people don't really care that much about your website. A lot of people may need you in a moment, and they might call the first company that they see that has enough reviews or looks reputable. But in a lot of cases, they will go to your website, even if you are a landscaper or if you sell some other services that aren't really, expensive. So it's not a huge investment for the client, but they still want to hire a reputable company, so they will go to your website to at least see some pictures of your work, or at least see what you look like, because if you want to work with somebody, you would prefer to see them, or learn something more about them, and especially because this also helps you a lot during calls, because when people see you on your website, when they see something about you, and when they call you, they will speak to you differently because they already know you a little bit, And the last one will be your sales skills, and this is really important because most people don't actually pay too much attention to this, but it's extremely important when it comes to SEO, because most of the leads that you actually get through SEO would be highly qualified leads. These are not leads that are thinking about it, or they're not leads that just saw your work and they are interested, so they want to see how much it costs, because maybe down the line, next year, they will buy your services. So these are not those kind of leads. In 90% of cases, these are highly qualified leads, and here's why. When people go to Google and they type in remodeling contractor in my city, and they click on multiple listings, and they go to your website and they read through all these websites, then the companies that they actually contact would be the companies that they would like to work with. Sure, there's a lot of people that would actually just go through these websites and try to get multiple quotes and all of that, but I know for a fact that these leads that you actually get through your website or through SEO would be a lot easier to close than leads that you actually get through Home Advisor and similar websites. But SEO is not some magical spell that's going to help your business get a lot of customers. It's only one source of leads, which is something that you definitely should develop in this century and in this age that we are living in, because everybody's using Google and everybody is going to use it even more in the future. If you're not on it, then your competitors are, and even if somebody hears about you, they will probably go to Google to just to see your website and to learn a little bit about you. So if you have any questions, then please leave a comment below, and definitely subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. And if you want to work with me and my team, then head over to logicalmarketer.net. I'll again leave the link here, but I'll also leave it in the description as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Even if you don't want to work with me, I'll be happy to share some advice. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.